What's up, y'all? It's your boy Major 7th. We just finished episode 429 of the podcast where we discussed Kendrick Lamar and his morals. YouTuber ReedMySole actually did a great video responding or actually reviewing Anthony Fantano's comments about that. Pretty good conversation. I think you guys will like it. We also discussed Drake's lawsuit, went over some of the paperwork. I don't think that's going to go the way he wants it to go, but we'll see. And then last but not least, we talked about Will Smith, who's dropping an album for his first time in 20 years that will also have a tour. But who really cares? That's actually the question. What's that age group going to look like? Also, remember to check out our Patreon where we have unreleased content. Thanks a lot. Peace.
You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. I'm joined by the good brothers as always. Starting off with my man Jay Moore. How are you, sir?
Doing well. You know, kicking but not high. Flapping became fly. You know the vibes.
My man. Lonegevity. How are you, sir?
Hello. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you as always. My man DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
Salutations.
Everything good your way?
Yes, sir.
Nice smile.
Thanks, man.
You got an old Disney ass smile.
Yeah, you got seem like you've been somewhere and had a good time or something, man.
Happiest place on earth.
It's good to bring a smile back with that. That's real.
Man. Yeah. Everybody needs a little happiness in their life.
I ain't mad at that, man. Shout out to the Governator in the building as well. Appreciate you, sir, as always.
So, Playboi Carti dropped. I am not a fan of his. I don't know if you guys are.
Can't say that I am.
Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely too old for Playboi Carti.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, you know, he dropped and his fans have apparently been waiting for this for a long time. So it was kind of a surprise.
Can't relate.
Yeah, me either. But outside of the drop that had a few Kendrick Lamar features, Anthony Fantano had a discussion in part of his review where he challenged Kendrick collaborating with Playboi due to Playboy's past around essentially domestic violence and Kendrick's morality. You know, he is Mr. Morale. With that, YouTube creator ReedMySole, shouts to Reed, released a video discussing Fantano's take. And here's a snippet of that. Then we can talk a little bit further about the things that he's talking about here.
All right.
Apparently, Kendrick is being criticized for working with Playboi Carti because, for a lack of a better term, Playboi Carti has some weird cases and allegations of the past. I was recently tagged in a video by Dog Ninja, shout out to my man Dog Ninja, on Twitter, where Anthony Fantano was talking about how he's looking at Kendrick a little weird for working with Carti and working with a person like Kodak Black in the past, because the way he went about the battle and the way he presents himself is that he's on this moral high ground and that he doesn't want to work with Drake because he's a terrible person, and he should keep that same energy with Carti.
Kendrick Lamar, when it comes to the morals he puts into his songs and the ones that he throws in people's faces as a means of endearing you to him, he selectively applies them when it's convenient for him and most to his benefit.
There's a few things about this. For one, I don't really listen to Anthony Fantano when it comes to hip hop because he's not of my culture. He's not of this culture. So I take a lot of the things he says with a grain of salt, because a lot of what's wrong with hip hop media starts with people like Anthony Fantano. People who are not of the culture, who don't understand street, urban, American, hood, black culture, speaking on it as if they know what they're talking about. This battle wasn't about who's the more perfect moral person. This battle was about being open and honest and being real with yourself and being real with others. He wanted Drake to admit that he ain't shit, that he uses his power to manipulate the audience. He uses his power to dismantle and disarm his competition or his enemies. It wasn't about, I'm better than you, I'm perfect than you. If you're not perfect, you can't come over here. That's not what it's about. The OVO Glazers like to say that because it's a thing with humans. Humans hate the fact that they flawed. The one thing we have to figure out in this world is, how do we deal with people we don't agree with? How do we deal with behavior and ideas and things we don't agree with? Do we just cancel them? Should Playboi Carti never make money ever again? Should Playboi Carti never make music? Should Playboi Carti go in a hole and never be seen again? It's crazy how we hold black athletes, black entertainers, black rappers to a more of a higher standard than our elected officials, than the food we eat, then the water we drink, the cars we drive, then our elected officials, then our presidents, then the pharmaceutical industry. You would have thought Will Smith was the president of America the way they treated the whole slapping Chris Rock thing. Don't get me wrong, it was crazy. But the way they went about it, you heard about it all day. You hear about it all the time. When black people make a mistake, we are our mistake. We never get a chance to correct ourselves. So with people like Anthony Fantano, I ain't gonna lie, I just look at him funny. Like, people love to make black people, black men and black athletes, they love to make us an example. They don't choose to stand on business with anything else. When it comes to Kanye, I'm not listening to Kanye music. I'm not listening to Carti. Kodak is terrible. And we do it to ourselves. That's why you gotta watch out, because you don't see how the other people seeing us. Yo, really? They know? All right, we can do it too.
He's speaking to the choir right there.
There's a lot.
That's a lot.
There's a lot in his, shouts to Reed.
I think he hit the nail on the head when he talked about the situation with Kendrick and Drake being something where Kendrick is trying to be on a moral high road against Drake. He's literally tone deaf to exactly what happened. He doesn't like Drake.
Right.
That's it. It has nothing to do with morals and things of that nature. I feel like he shouldn't be talking on it like that, because it's almost like he's hearing it with the wrong ears. And I hate to use that the white man can't jump connotation. You can listen to Jimmy, but you can't hear Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's one of the people that are guilty of that.
You said I like to listen to it, man. No. There's a difference between hearing and listening.
Why would he even raise that question about Kendrick being on this moral high horse, so to speak, in this battle?
I mean, a few things for context here. Number one, Anthony Fantano. The one thing that I don't agree with Reed on here is that I mean, maybe to some degree, Fantano is definitely, I know we can be splitting hairs here, but there's a difference between a Fantano and an Adam 22.
Yeah.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
And I don't feel like Fantano is one of those guys that operates from this place of trying to be within the culture from that standpoint. So I think that's important to note. But
he definitely heard it wrong.
But I also think that Fantano was kind of, I don't know if he heard it wrong or if he was just approaching this from just his analytical mind in a particular, like posing the question. In the same way when we posed the question a few weeks ago, like, what are the worst parts about Kendrick's G-Nex was the features, right? Mm-hmm. Potentially, right? But Kendrick, aesthetically, the features that were on the project weren't necessarily for a musical thing. It was bigger than the music, why those people were on there. And I feel like that's the piece that Anthony's kind of missing here. But Anthony is also a music analyzer. So I don't know.
This also isn't the first time that Kendrick has been featured with an artist like Playboi Carti. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what kind of stands out to me. It's almost like you just start listening to him, whether he has or not, since the whole situation happened with him and Drake.
That's what I was going to say.
Because
who are you talking about?
Prior to this.
Like Fantano?
Yeah. That I know that's probably not the case.
No, that's not. He's actually he's a Kendrick fan.
But that's how it sounds to me.
Right.
Because it's almost like you don't recognize his catalog. I mean, he had songs with, remember Cartoons and Cereal? That was with Gunplay. You know what I'm saying? He had...
So I think another important piece here, it was... Fantano kind of hinted at the same thing that we kind of hinted at a couple weeks ago about is Kendrick potentially pandering to a specific degree when it makes sense to benefit his career. And that was to me, that was kind of the overarching point that he was kind of making. He's like, well, he'll work with Playboi Carti as long as it benefits what he's doing, but otherwise he's this moral person. And
I'm a little indifferent about that too, because to me the verse was kind of lackluster. It was just one of them things that he did, and he has a bunch of those. I think we hold a lot of these artists to this high standard. Whenever they open their mouth and speak on a microphone, they have to do it like this. It has to sound like this. Right. It has to be with this certain type of artist. When I don't think that's the case. I mean, I don't understand what the problem is. I'm not a Playboi Carti fan, but I don't see anything wrong if Kendrick decides he wants to do a verse with him. Who am I to tell him that he can't do that because he dropped an album called Mr. Morale and the High Steppers or Big Steppers?
Right.
I mean, you can't be in somebody's shoes and see their vision or even hear the same way that they hear in order to make those decisions for them based on you being a fan of the music. It just doesn't work like that.
Yep.
I mean, I agree with ReedMySole to a certain extent. You know, like I said, I understand where Fantano, because I'm actually somebody that follows Fantano and I actually enjoy his reviews. Sometimes not his cultural takes as much, But I think that's two different things. I didn't really feel him, you know, because I did watch the video that Fantano did about this, and I'm like, you know, okay, in a way I can see where you're coming from, but, you know, if you're looking for every artist that you like to only work with people who have never had a blemish on their record as far as, you know, going to jail or maybe mistreatment of women, like you're really going to, that's a hard road to toe. You know, remember, you know, at one point Kendrick was signed to Dr. Dre, who has some things that, you know, are not particularly
questionable past.
A questionable past. Now, once again, in the last 30 years, has that been a problem? No, not really. But, you know, everyone knows, you know, the thing with him and D Barnes. He's spoken about that, not only in his music, but, you know, when he did the Defiant Ones, you know, so it's not like something we're running away from, but it is a thing that happened. You know, if you were to go down Kendrick's, you know, his whole discography and be like, oh, well, maybe that person had a speeding ticket and maybe this person yelled at his wife or whatever. Like, we can't do that. You know, I mean, we can, but I don't see where the point is, you know, and if we're only looking for because he had, you know, he had a record called Mr. Morale, where he can't work with imperfect people, or everybody has to meet some morality test, then, you know, I think that's going to make, that sounds bad, but it's going to make the music suffer. But also, you know, I don't know enough about Playboi Carti, his personal life, you know, you know, whatever he's done or whatever he's gotten into, I can't speak to, you know, but I also have a thing where I don't know how long ago it happened, or
2017.
2017.
He had a domestic battery in 2017, which is, you know.
Okay, so we're talking about, at this point, looking at about 8 years ago.
And he had a couple other things where he punched a taxi driver and he did something else, but neither of those other things are, you know, he had a gun charge, like who cares?
Yeah.
You know.
Once again, like, say we're just holding his feet to the fire for the domestic 8 years ago. You know, does he have a history of this before then? And he had a history after that.
That would be my only thing, is like, what has he been accountable for it?
Yeah.
You know, like, or did he just, you know, what's that piece? It's the same thing, because he mentioned, like, the another thing that Reed said that I didn't really fully agree with was the whole Kanye thing, because Kanye can completely off. I don't care who you are.
Kanye's on the
That's
tip
different.
right now,
He's unapologetic for his horse shit.
Exactly. He's not accountable for anything. And so that would be my only thing about the Playboi thing. Because I honestly don't understand Playboi Carti. I don't know if it's an old thing or if it's just
a style thing.
I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. Like,
I haven't spent enough time with his records to.
I've tried.
Yeah, I tried too. I tried too. It's
but
just,
it just has no appeal to me.
Yeah, I haven't spent enough time with it, nor do I'm not that familiar with the history.
But, you know, one of the things
I think he's one of the original mumble, like, he was one of the original, like, mumble rappers. Like, I don't even say that in a derogatory way. Like, he was like one of the guys that was, and that's not, at least maybe I'm wrong. Yell at me in the comments.
Well, he definitely has a he has
some
unique
songs.
cadence.
He has some songs where he's not doing that, but I don't know.
Terry's point about, I guess, how it came off as when you talked about had he really been listening to the catalog and pointing out some of the other features, it just seemed like it was a one-off. It's like, why would you choose to do this now? And to Terry's point, there have been other features that probably can go down that road if you want to dig deep enough to find it. I think y'all pretty much have covered everything in terms of what I would have said, because I just don't know if there's enough meat on the bone for that, and just from a morality standpoint, because it's hard to cast that net as it relates to features, and because that's a huge rabbit hole if we want to play that game. That's a lot.
Well, you know, and also, I mean, it was almost like, hey, Playboi Carti did this back in 2008, and that's how we should define him. And I think, and how he should be able to relate to somebody like Kendrick. And we don't know exactly what either their personal relationship is or the professional relationship. Because the thing is, I don't think Kendrick at this point in his career has to do anything for a look. And I think that's kind of what I've heard a little bit of the conversation. Oh, Kendrick's just doing this for this. Kendrick is in a place where he doesn't have to do anything for anybody for any reason.
A look is the last thing.
Yeah, the last thing
he's doing these artists a favor, because I wouldn't haven't even listened to the Playboi Carti song if Kendrick wasn't on it.
Yeah, and you know, once again, it's this whole thing where I spoke about this a little. I can't remember how many episodes, and I had to have conversations outside of this with a couple of people when I said, you know, when are we just going to, you know, not let it go, but like, how long are y'all going to be? Some of y'all going to be mad at Chris Brown. You know, it's like, okay, how many women did he, you know, beat before Rihanna, and how many has he beat after that? Not that he, you know, and he had, you know, like, he did his community service. Does he do goofy young boy shit? Yeah. But has any of it come to the level of criminality and just maybe emotional abuse with like him leaving Karrueche at home while he went on a date with Rihanna? Yeah, that's just goofy shit young boys with money can do. But that doesn't deal with him actually any criminality. I just think we try to make ourselves seem more moral, if you will, by saying, oh, I don't like this person because he did this 8 years ago. And like without even thinking, well, maybe is he the same person? I'm not the same person I was 8 years. Well, for the most part, I am. But
it's a slippery
slope. Like there are a lot of people who aren't just like, you know, if you'd asked to them.
Like, it's your responsibility to show me.
Yeah.
You know, like.
That's the part. Like, Lone, when you spoke to, I think you mentioned you didn't know if he had shown any accountability or anything like that. To me, that's the part. Because to your point, from what I've seen, if you want to use Chris Brown as an example, he's done that. So it's not like he's just running around here crazy without any remorse or anything with the things that he's saying. So that's what I don't know about Carti in that situation. I'm just curious about that because maybe he has.
But even if we don't, honestly, these are arguments for people who just a lot of them. It's just people upset that Kendrick beat Drake's ass so bad in front of the world.
Is it still that at this point?
I think when these situations happen, it's a slippery slope as far as what the person did, whether they were apologetic for it or not. Situations arise where people may not have been mature. We bring up Chris Brown a lot. Mm-hmm. He may not have been mature when that happened, and things have progressed as far as where he's proven himself being a model citizen, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But to ReedMySole's point, it doesn't matter what crime is committed with these artists. It almost seems like he said, a lot of these black artists are targeted regardless of what they did. And it follows them for the rest of their career. And
I think that's a real thing.
I wholeheartily agree with him on that. So I mean, I don't think it should have been a conversation as far as Kendrick's morality, as far as why he did a song with Playboi Carti. It's almost like a whistleblower blowing a real whistle for no reason at all. That's just what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I guess the long and short of it is I just don't like anybody being defined by their worst moment. You know, and we're still, you know, whether it be 5, 10, 20. Now, have you grown? Have you tried to make amends? That's something we can have a conversation about. And, you know, whether or not you're willing to do the research on whether or not someone has done it, you know, or you want them to go out of their way to show you that, you know, because there are some artists who have done that. It was like, I'm not this same person anymore. I've you know, outside of the court mandated community service or whatever, you know, they've actually tried to make it part of their public persona that they are, you know, a changed person, you know, and I admire that.
Robert Downey Jr. was down and out on drugs and shit. Ended up being Iron Man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think too, like, I think it's individual too. Like if women don't want to like Chris Brown because because they have a past of that and they just don't want to like him, I think that's perfectly fine. I don't think there's a statute of limitations on stuff like that. You know, they're like, no, this is who he was, and I'm never going to feel comfortable having conversations or talking about this person or anybody that's like, it's like, I get it.
That's perfectly fine.
You know,
right?
You know, but to me, like musical, I look at it from a musical standpoint. I'm just like, it didn't do anything for me. The Kendrick feature didn't do anything. Just like when he did I know people were like, yeah, I didn't mind when Kodak was on Mr. Morale. I was like, yeah, I didn't like it either.
Some people were saying that it was the better verse on the song, which was huge.
Calm down.
It's just, I don't know. Do you guys think that, like, so is Fantano, quote unquote, wanting to make black people an example with what he said here?
Or he's just feeding the algorithm?
I don't know. I don't think he's doing that.
I don't think that's his.
I don't think he needs to.
Yeah, I'll shoot him some bail. I don't think that's what his intention was. But sometimes, like, you know,
sometimes you miss.
You miss, like you said, you listened to it, but you didn't hear it.
Sometimes your intention can come off and be received differently from what you thought it was going to be too. So
that happens all the time. You know,
all the time.
He thought he was making a point.
Yeah, you go in one way and people take it another way. That happens all the time.
To me, like I said, it just sounds real tone deaf to me. In my personal opinion, it doesn't sound like something of somebody of his stature and who's kind of built a reputation on YouTube and online to have that talk about it. Someone that he claims that he's a fan of. In my personal opinion, that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah,
I think I'm with Terry on this one.
It made me like twerk my ears a little bit, but I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
When I heard it, but I think the thing that stuck out to me the most was when he mentioned the pandering statement, because that was literally a conversation we were having. You know, so when I listened to it, I feel like yes, he made that morality argument, but to me the bigger point was, is this some sort of interesting type of pander in this type of situation? Because to your point, he doesn't need to do a record with Carti. Carti doesn't need him to do a record with him either.
Good point.
So it's like, why does this exist? You know,
the songs he did with his cousin right after Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers came out.
Was, Baby Keem?
Yeah, those were not the same type of songs at all. So it's almost like, and you being a Kendrick fan, you understand that each one of his albums are a different part of him.
Right.
So that was that era of Kendrick. And it actually, if you listen to the album the way you're probably supposed to listen to it, there were some situations on there that didn't fit morals,
well, I think,
so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
I think too. I don't think Anthony Fantano was referencing Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I think he was referencing just the overall morality, which obviously goes into the battle angle, right?
There you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
So,
well, this battle wasn't about the souls of black folks. This was about him not liking Drake.
Yeah, that's it.
See, but that's I think that is that's one of the things that happened. I guess it just happened. A lot of people do see it that way. It's Kendrick versus Drake. It's the perfect guy that's for the people and for this, and he's the savior, versus the guy that's not from here, that does everything the opposite of what Kendrick does. That's kind of how it's been painted. When it's all actually, in all actuality, it's just he just don't like fam, and he's going at him in a rap battle. It's the way I took it. It's just bar for bar. We both nice, and let's just go. That's what I took it as. It had nothing to do about. I didn't even look at it that way. I didn't.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd like to see the rest of it.
It's a good
rest of the video, though.
Yeah, it's a good video.
Shout out to ReedMySole.
He's in some really good points.
Yeah, I still have like, I think the bail point that we talked about, like shooting Fantano some bail here. Like I feel like there's like no room for Fantano to up.
His margin for error is pretty. Yeah.
Like he went out there on like one of these points, like
yeah.
You know, and granted there is some blind spots there's obviously that we talked about, but like let's say that this was a black creator with the same blind spots for whatever reason, it would not have. I just don't see the same type of reception. No, it's just not going to be there.
You're right.
That's fair. That's fair though. That's fair.
It probably wouldn't be as bad, but I would still call him out on this shit
for sure.
Yeah,
but would it be?
I mean, we literally just called out. Who did we call out last week on his take on Conan O'Brien?
Elliot Wilson.
Elliot Wilson.
Yeah,
because that was a
for sure
dumb point to me.
Yeah, I just feel like sometimes like though it's so easy to. And again, I witness this on a regular basis too. So maybe not to this extreme, but like it's very easy to like.
So he's low hanging fruit here from a reaction standpoint.
I think he made good points. I think Reed made good points. You know what I mean?
But, he definitely did. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of like if you listen to Fantano, and there's just so many people out there that mean harm.
Oh, I see where you. I see.
And Fantano is just not one of those guys. Even if this was a blind spot, this is not one of those. True. So I feel like maybe it was a little over the top, a little bit.
Yeah,
but
because you can't put him with them. I don't think you can. I don't think you. To what you said earlier,
he's not a West of Dirt.
That's what I'm talking about. He's not. He's
a socially conscious leftist.
Yeah,
you know, like I don't know. I don't
know if you, but you can't put him with you know what I'm talking about when I say that. He's not that.
So I think that's the only part where I'm just kind of like it's like this weird.
Yeah, I can. It to me it still boils down to me as him not being able to read what it means.
Yeah.
And what that
Reed actually mentioned, like the dozens and playing the dozens and that aspect, and how Fantano just missed that whole piece of it as well too. So
shout out to ReedMySole though. He definitely dropped bars in his video.
Yeah.
So salute to that.
Yeah,
brother.
Check it out. I'll just link it in the comments. I don't remember the name of it. So
great point about the standards too with the artists.
Different bars, it's very different, and that's clear across the board. I mean, Charlie Sheen was HIV positive and got a freaking condom. I think he got a condom deal with Trojan.
What?
Like
You don't remember that?
Yeah, I missed that.
I think that was a real thing.
It's like it's apples and oranges. When somebody black gets in trouble, it's totally frowned upon. When They're of Caucasian descent, so to speak.
I push back on that too because I don't think it's across the board like that.
It depends.
I think it depends on the person and the celebrity status.
It's situational.
It depends on the status as well.
I think it's more lopsided though, Long.
It is more lopsided, but it's definitely situational. When certain things happen, because I mean, and we'd be on this topic all day, comparing different sides.
For sure. I would definitely concede the point that it's definitely skewed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue that, but like, it is not clear and cut across the board by any means.
No,
So,
that's fair. I just wish, and God bless the dead, that DMX would have, lived long enough to have the redemption story that Robert Downey Jr. had.
That's what I'm saying.
Man.
I think it's more of a class thing.
But yeah, it's true. And plus,
that's what I would say.
But like, when you think about, damn, DMX going back to jail again, but it was the same thing. I mean, they tried to bring Robert Downey Jr. back. I think there was a show, Ally McBeal, they tried to get him on, but then he still wound up in somebody's bedroom, eating a candle or something. It was something weird.
Eating a candle?
Yeah, man. He
waxed out murals.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand, like, they did not want to, insure him to be in Iron Man. They only paid him $500,000 for that movie.
For the first one.
Now,
the check's bigger now.
He got points and back end, so he's living lovely now.
Well,
yeah.
Plus, they brought him back. He's going to be doomed. So
I think also too with that, like comparing Robert Downey Jr. to Playboi Carti, or like
it's different. I mean, it's
you know what I mean, like
different entertainers, different genres of entertainment.
But it does happen. But it absolutely happens. Yeah, for sure. Cool. UMG, Universal Music Group, has filed a first court response to Drake's defamation lawsuit over Kendrick Lamar's diss track Not Like Us, blasting the case as no more than Drake's attempt to save face after losing a rap battle. Drake's legal team responded by saying, UMG wants to pretend that this is about a rap battle in order to distract. I'm trying to read here. Like, what the is going on?
the level of disrespect.
Jesus. All right, let me try this again.
Hey, we didn't care. Care about him at all.
Over here.
My apologies.
Being Jason Williams over here, like. All right, so anyway,
white chocolate. Shout out to white chocolate.
Magic.
Yo.
So anyway,
West Virginia.
I'm just looking from the corner of my eye. All right.
My apologies, my good friend. My apologies.
It's all good. I'm sorry. So anyway,
oh man.
So Drake's legal team responded by saying UMG wants to pretend that this is about a rap battle in order to distract its shareholders, artists, and the public from the simple truth. A greedy company is finally being held responsible for profiting from dangerous misinformation that has already resulted in multiple acts of violence. This motion is a desperate play by UMG to avoid accountability, but we have every confidence that this case will proceed and continue to uncover UMG's long history of endangering, abusing, and taking advantage of its artists. All right, so that was in response to the motion that they filed, which I think if you guys want, we can kind of read through this a little bit, maybe.
We can take a gander at it.
Let's take a look at this. Let's kind of go through this. So go ahead and switch over to the free talk there, Jackson.
Alone out here with the paperwork.
We got the papers, man. I'm just going to say, like, off top, reading this, they went in on Drake, like, heavily. So,
and this used to be his company.
This is part of the battle.
So it starts off by, I want it all. That's why I strive for it. Diss man, you'll never hear a reply for it. Drake unsuccessful. That's how UMG started this off.
Start a legal draft.
Yes. So plaintiff, one of the most successful recording artists of all time, lost a rap battle that he provoked and in which he willingly participated. Instead of accepting the loss like an unbothered rap artist he often claims to be, he has sued his own record label in a misguided attempt to salve his wounds.
This is crazy.
Plaintiff's complaint is utterly without merit and should be dismissed without prejudice. It's already wild.
Yeah, that's
that
wild.
Right there is
like
is very good.
That beginning
there.
statement
like,
all in itself.
Did Kendrick write this? Like, what's going on here?
Is he on the legal team?
Wow. Great assessment.
Introduction. In the spring of 2024, two of the most popular recording artists in the world, Kendrick Lamar and Aubrey Drake Graham, engaged in a high-profile rap battle. Over the course of approximately 2 months, they exchanged increasingly vitriolic and incendiary diss tracks. Sometimes responding within hours of each other. Drake encouraged the feud. For example, when he felt that Lamar was taking too long to respond, Drake released a second recording in which he goaded Lamar to continue the public rap battle. Lamar did just that, and collectively, Drake and Lamar released a total of 9 tracks taking aim at each other. Multiple commentators declared Lamar to be the winner of the battle.
This is just ridiculous, man.
So, Not Like Us is the penultimate track in the feud. It is the subject of the complaint. The recording and music video were released by Lamar through defendant UMG on May 4th, 2024. It's crazy to think that was that long ago.
Yeah.
It's almost a
Be
year.
with you.
Yeah.
Wow. Not Like Us was a massive commercial and artistic success. The record was the best-selling rap recording of 2024, won a Grammy, Record of the Year, won Grammy for Best Music Video. The song Not Like Us won Grammy Award for Song of the Year, has become a ubiquitous cultural phenomenon. Among other things, Lamar performed it at the Super Bowl halftime, and Saturday Night Live parodied it in his 50th anniversary special. Not Like Us, like all the recordings in the feud, began between Drake and Lamar. And like the many notorious diss tracks throughout rap's history, consists of a series of hyperbolic insults. Drake has been pleased to use UMG's platform to promote tracks leveling similarly incendiary attacks at Lamar, including most significantly that Lamar engaged in domestic abuse and that one of Lamar's business partners and managers is the true father of Lamar's son. But now, after losing the rap battle, Drake claims that Not Like Us is defamatory. It is not. Well, I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, it is, but I mean, and he signed up for this.
Yeah. While the complaint focuses almost entirely on Not Like Us, it disregards the other Drake and Lamar diss tracks that surround Not Like Us, as well as the conventions of the diss track genre, and thus critically ignores the context of the dispute. Assessed in context, as it must be, Not Like Us clearly conveys non-actionable opinion and rhetorical hyperbole. Diss tracks are popular and celebrated art forms centered around outrageous insults, and they would be severely chilled if Drake's suit were permitted to proceed. Drake also alleges that Not Like Us constitutes second-degree harassment, but sues under a criminal statute that does not proscribe speech and has no private right of action. Drake finally claims UMG's promotion of Not Like Us violates New York General Business Law 349, but fails to allege any of the elements for that claim. Notably, in less than 3 years, Drake himself signed a public petition, less than 3 years ago, Drake himself signed a public petition criticizing the trend of prosecutors using artists' creative expression against them by treating rap lyrics as literal fact. As Drake recognized, when it comes to rap, in quote, the final work is a product of the artist's vision and imagination. Drake was right then and is wrong now. The complaint's unjustified claims against UMG are no more than Drake's attempt to save face for his unsuccessful rap battle with Lamar. The court should grant UMG's motion and dismiss the complaint with prejudice. Yeah, that's there's
stop there.
We can.
Yeah,
there's lots that we could potentially go through, which is but that's the intro portion of it, depending on how you want to talk about this. So.
I want to also just remind everyone that probably a lawyer that makes 7 figures had to write this.
Yeah.
This is a multinational corporation whose attorneys had to sit down and say, Mr. Lamar, won the battle, and now the defamatory, it's almost surreal to see this in, because I've read more through it, and just the whole thing with partnership. Yeah, just where, I don't know, man. And them saying, hey, if this goes to trial and, Drake wins, what's that going to mean for diss tracks in the future? Like, that's kind of what they're saying here.
Yeah.
I'm over it, man. I can't even believe that this is a real thing. This whole suit. I'm over it, man. It's the first paragraph alone is just filled with factual information. Just the way they approach it.
Now, do you think say I'm going to just play white devil's advocate here. What if my conspiracy mind says, okay, it was time for Drake to re-up, and UMG said, you know what, let's drive his price down by promoting Not Like Us. So when it's time for him to come back and get another bag, we can say, well, we'd love to do business with you.
That's what he was claiming is happening.
Yeah. And so it's like, that's, if you want to say that, I still think it's weak as hell, but here it is. It's like you got in bed with this person who winds up being my enemy. But at the same time, we realize there's only like 3 or 4 record companies in the whole world anyway, for real record companies.
Yeah,
true.
The interesting thing about this too is like that Drake is trying to play this victim of sorts, and he's, there's this whole narrative around exposing UMG and all this other stuff, which is even like the response that his legal team kind of put together here. But at this point, and I forget who I saw say this, but they said something to the degree of like, at this point, Drake and UMG are both corporations.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like
he's this whole machine.
Like he's a machine. So I don't know. Like he's only trying to protect himself, and this isn't some great holier than thou type of thing that's going on right now.
It kind of is though. It's when the golden boy gets touched finally. He got chin checked. I mean, we've already talked about the situation with him and Meek Mill. He was successful in that. That diss track was nominated for an award. It didn't win, but it was nominated.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it had a lot of airplay. And he wasn't upset about that or crying about how much that got played.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, when Not Like Us, and to the paperwork's point of view, he was baiting Kendrick into doing this to him. Even the song that used the AI with Tupac, he was saying, tell him about how you mess with kid or underage chicks or something like that. And then he claimed that he was baiting him this whole time. Oh, I fed you the information. I told you this. And then when it didn't work in his favor, he's like, well, I'm going to sue.
That's the part.
Yeah.
What you just said is the part. You have egged this entire thing on, kept I'm not going to say, so I'll take that. I'm not saying he egged the whole thing on, because this has been going back and forth. Like we just had this last discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick
has not liked Drake for a long time.
Yep.
And they've been going back and forth for a long time because Drake took the control first personally. Everybody else didn't. And he's on record acting like he took it personally. I mean, you can go back and look at all that.
It's documented.
And it led up to where we're at now. He's even on record saying, pretty much diminishing Kendrick back then, that he's weaker than him. You know what I'm saying? So now that the so-called machine isn't working in his favor, there had to have been some strings to have been pulled, is how he's looking at it. But it's almost like somebody that gambles and they're playing with trick dice. And when those trick dice stop working, now all of a sudden you're upset. You know what I'm saying?
You know how stupid you look to, well, even if you say not egging on, continuously engage in a rap battle and then claim that you're the victim after you engaged in it because it didn't go your way. That's the way I see it. That's literally it. You're engaged. It's not like somebody was just throwing darts at you and you had to defend yourself. You engaged in this. This was back and this is back and forth. It's 9 records, I think they said in the documents. What, 9 records between 2 of them?
Look, remember, Drake put out another record after Not Like Us. He put it out like that Sunday night, and
it just ain't.
It just.
Well, it was him conceding essentially, because he was like, "Yeah, I know you got more records," and you could tell he sounded exhausted. He didn't have it in him no more, because that took the wind out of his sail. But again, he should have bowed out and just moved on. When Meek got beat up by Drake, he moved on. He went to jail for a little bit, and he came out. I mean, he did.
No, he's right.
He did.
I feel you though.
And what's crazy is Meek actually was more successcul after the fact that he got in the rap beef with Drake.
They did a record together eventually.
Yes,
that's fair.
So I mean,
go to jail, Drake.
Some.
He's stupid. Nah, man, this is stupid.
Talk about prison reform.
Yeah.
He can't do that from experience because he's a Degrassi kid.
Well, he can't. Well,
nice.
He can talk about gun violence because his character was put in a wheelchair.
Yeah, but at the same time, like Drake does not know how to speak on. And he's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, we talked.
Yeah, we know.
He's like Kai Cenat or XQC or one of these streamers. He doesn't know anything about anything. Like he's not a political person.
Nah, we don't want to talk about
what's
that.
wild is those are youngsters. Drake.
I know.
Drake is of age.
Yeah,
I know.
He should know.
Those
something.
are actual kids. Like they super young.
He's a little older.
Well, Kai Cenat is what? How old is he?
I don't know.
20 something.
Like
it's not the point.
Yeah,
you know. So it's just like, Drake doesn't care about anything
No,
except
he
for
doesn't,
Drake,
except for himself.
which is why this is stupid.
Yeah, and
This is stupid, man.
And it's not the first time he's tried to sue. I love the fact how the lawyers are pretty much just reading him his rights.
Yeah.
In this, it's like you gave us a deadline to respond. Here's our response. Just like you kept telling Drake to hurry up and drop. Here, I'm about to drop for you too, and this is what it is. So let's go to war. Now you're about to have another battle, and it's already not looking like it's going your way. You had 3 separate lawsuits. 2 of them they say they've been settled. There were no monetary settlements.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people saying, well, there had to be something in there. Drake is still doing what he's supposed to be doing because they settled. Settled does not mean he got paid anything.
Nope.
And that's how ignorant people are in the world, man. It's like you can say any key word and they think that means something big happened in the favor of this person. No, they came to an agreement between the two, which was the settlement, and they moved on. So now we're down to 3. He's already had 2 strikes.
Don't strike out.
Hey, the third one's on the way, and then what's it gonna look like? I mean, he made a post last week saying that he's about to change some things up, and this is not going to be
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, that's good for him. Hey, nobody said we didn't like you, Drake.
Nobody.
But you're making people not like you. If anybody didn't like you at one point in time, they definitely don't like you now because this display is crazy.
I tell you what, I wish, when I was trying to pick a career, I knew then what I know now, to where if I decided to go to law school, I could just be recounting rap battles and putting lyrics into my legal briefs.
Come on, man.
I'd definitely sign up for that. I'd be a show enough rap lawyer.
Yeah, it's just easy
like,
there.
What other key points is in this paperwork?
I saw
There's a
Long
lot.
going through the
I was just like scrolling through it. Yeah, like I mean, they're like.
Let's touch on some more.
They're quoting.
Let's touch on some more.
They're quoting lyrics.
Go ahead and switch back over. Yeah, so let's see. We looked at the introduction aspect.
First paragraph was fire.
So it talks about the parties. Drake and Lamar engage in vitriolic rap feud. Duppy freestyle lyrics. Drake Push T feud. That's referenced. Public feud between Drake and Lamar traces back to October 23rd. I mean, it traces way farther than that, actually.
Oh, no, look, they do a timeline.
Yeah, they do an entire timeline on this. So, and then
this
they
is
go
very thorough.
They even quote lyrics, Drake urges Lamar in the voice of Tupac to talk about Drake like young girls. You mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the voice of Snoop Dogg, he says this. Lamar responds with 2 tracks. It's just covering the entire thing. Literally, Drake responds 14 hours later. So, I mean, it's literally timelining everything here.
This has to be the greatest rap battle in history. At this point.
Yeah.
I mean, just off the fact that it's what? Would you say, Jerry, was 3? This is the third one?
New Yorker article asking, has there ever been a clear loser as Drake?
Dang.
New York Times article noting Lamar's unofficial winning a high-profile diss war with Drake, Not Like Us, has also massive commercial and artistic success. It has been heard or viewed nearly 6 billion times.
Wow.
I can attest to that. I was in a gift shop on the way back here earlier today in Orlando, a gift shop. And Not Like Us came on in the gift shop.
That's crazy.
Huge gift shop with a mermaid out in front of it and everything.
The thing is, Not Like Us, because I go through Billboard every week, is still like in the top 20.
Yeah. So it says it was the best-selling rap song of 2024. It said this is all in reference to, the allegations essentially that these numbers were ramped up or something. It set multiple records, including most single-day streams for a rap song in the U.S., the fastest to reach 300 million Spotify streams, the most streamed song in a 7-day period, 96 million. Within the first week of its release, Not Like Us debuted at number 1 on Billboard Hot 100 and ranked first on YouTube's weekly top music video chart from July 4th to August 8th. It has maintained its popularity. On October 7th, Billboard reported that the recording had reached 45.4 million total audience impressions on radio. It has also been used in over 1.3 million videos on TikTok. That's actually not a lot.
That's not a lot?
Yeah, actually, no. Let me rephrase. That is a lot.
I was going to say, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was relating it to plays, videos made. So 1.3 videos were made and used that music in it. Rolling Stone deemed it the biggest moment in music this year. The song, recording, and video were collectively nominated for 5 Grammy Awards. So they're just repeating. They're just running it up on them right here. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. Drake fails to state a claim for defamation. The alleged defamatory material is non-actionable opinion and rhetorical hyperbole.
As you keep scrolling, I'm just like, I can't
let me
believe
put
this.
I said, Not Like Us is still in the top 20. It's still in the top 5. It's the number 3 song in the country right now. Number 1 is Luther with him and SZA.
Man,
The only thing breaking that up is
rough out
Lady
here, man.
Gaga and Bruno Mars.
Rough out here.
Once again, Luke, under this standard that Drake has presented, Luke should have sued.
Yeah.
Eazy should have sued.
Yeah. A lot of people should have got sued. By now.
If we
PM
go
Dawn
this
should
route,
have sued.
they definitely
man.
should have sued.
Actually, no, they really should have sued.
Yeah, they should have sued in real life.
Yeah, you seen what Third Base did to MC Hammer in that video,
Yeah.
or MC Hammer likeness.
Yeah, I mean, an actual hammer with glasses on it.
Yeah, it's like
Had Henry Rollins in the Pop Goes the Weasel as Vanilla Ice, you know. I should sue.
Man,
I
that's the new
study rap
standard.
battles for a living.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
you have not no.
Look, when
No,
you
sir.
listen, everybody talks about how, no Vaseline. I mean, basically, it's a bunch of hyperbolic, very mean gay taunts
Come on, man.
to NWA.
Yeah.
When we talk about how 50 Cent did Ja Rule,
Yep.
Ice Cube kind of did the same thing to NWA. NWA disbanded after that.
Yeah, after
There was nothing.
there's no more NWA songs after
None.
that. There was like, no.
That was it. It was all right. We gonna go our separate ways and see what we can do on our own. You know what I'm saying? So, come on, man. And Eazy was in cahoots with the top dog at Ruthless. You know what I'm saying?
He was supposed to be the top dog.
Yeah. So if we're talking about somebody that
point.
could have done something at some point in time, he was like, "Nah, we just gonna move on because this is rap shit. This is what we do."
Yeah.
Drake.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member. All details on newoldheads.com. Will Smith.
Big Willie style.
Fresh Will.
Fresh Will, you say?
Yeah, Fresh Will.
I hate him, man.
Shouts to Mike Tyson. So he recently shared that his release date for Based on a True Story, which is his first album in 2 decades, is coming soon. Features will include Jazzy Jeff, Tiana Taylor, Big Sean, and Smith's son Jaden, maybe some others.
Ugh. I'm sorry. That was unfair. That was unfair.
That was rude.
Yeah, it really was.
Well, the question... Ew. The question on the table is pretty simple. Is anybody interested in hearing Will Smith rap in 2025?
Check this out, man.
Here, and I got some other questions too.
Hear me out, okay? Hear me out. So, Will Smith, post Smackgate, has had a gradual increase of visibility, starting to get back out there, right? This is why I care. I want to see how it will be received because I personally think there's a pocket of people that want this. They may be movie star Will Smith fans that understand that he was a rapper first. They're probably going to be people that are older, our age, even older than us.
That's my question. Who
That's the audience.
Who are Will Smith rap
Bro,
fans?
that's the audience.
Listen.
It's the people that grew up on the Fresh Prince.
Christians.
People that grew up on the Fresh
Come on.
Prince. I can't even say that.
Come on, man.
That's a weird term, but
I can't even say that because I mean honestly,
Evangelicals.
even when Will Smith when he was the Fresh Prince,
Oh man.
he didn't have a whole album worth of good stuff. He had some good songs on both of his releases. I think there might have been 3 before.
Millennium.
No, that's after
Oh, okay.
Are you talking about DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince?
DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
No.
Be
They had
cool,
3
because
albums
home
before
base
that, right?
had heat.
I didn't say they didn't have heat.
Okay.
Y'all are mishearing what I'm saying.
Okay.
I said they didn't have a whole album's worth of great stuff. There were songs on each one of those releases. I mean, granted, he won the hip hop album of the year, the first one.
First one.
Yeah.
But I became more of a Will Smith fan from the show. You know what I'm saying? Personally, I liked him before that, but the show made me feel like he kind of let us in a little bit, see who he is,
Right.
personality wise. You know what I'm saying? And he always had a good personality even before the show. So he's a likable character or person. I shouldn't say character. I mean, sometimes you're playing a character. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes,
but
Sometimes I don't know when Will Smith talks if he is playing a character or not.
I think it's a mix of both.
It's very interesting with Will.
It's a mix of both.
I watched part of a Big Boy interview today, and I was just like, is he doing a bit?
Is this the Fresh Prince?
Like, is this him, or is this like just like his media persona? You know what I mean? Like, because he's the superstar.
He's
actor,
a superstar,
you know what I
man.
mean?
Like me personally, especially once he started getting those movie deals. I mean, he was the man of the summer for like summers in a row.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah.
Will Smith on the Men in Black soundtrack was actually dope. I like that.
True.
Millennium Will Smith was actually dope. I like that. After that, it kind of was like Welcome to Miami. I mean, they hit for what it was.
For what
you
it
know what I'm
was.
saying?
It hit.
But like
He
music,
had a song called Cruising.
yeah.
He had some joints.
He had some joints. That's what I'm saying. I ain't taking nothing away from his legacy. Hell, Jazzy Jeff is probably my favorite out of the duo musically,
Right.
just for what he does and what he's did and what he's contributed to the culture.
Continually and still.
Right now.
because he never stopped.
Yeah.
Right now.
You know what I'm saying? Will Smith to me is a movie mega superstar, and I think he will fare better if he continues on that path. Musically, I don't know if he's going to be received the way that he thinks he's going to be received, because I don't really see the crowds or the fanfare that are going to pay to come see him or buy his material musically.
Bro, I promise you, and this is just my personal opinion. I think a lot of the tour dates, if I'm not mistaken, that have been
there's
released.
tour dates?
Oh, he's going on tour. Yeah, 100%.
Did not know that.
And I believe it starts now. We have to fact check this, but I believe it starts overseas. And I promise you,
Overseas is different though. Man.
but this is my point, because what you just said about the Summers, what you said about his personality, Fresh Prince, all that type of stuff. I think that though there's a sector of those people that will cross over and want to hear his music. I personally believe that just because of the magnitude.
In the Americas, or
I think both. Now, it might be bigger over there, but I think the crossover is going to happen just because of who Will Smith is.
I think most of his fans, I think the type of people that are going to enjoy a Will Smith album are less hip hop fan and more
Will Smith fan.
Oh, Will Smith is rapping again. Let's go check him out.
Yeah, I can see that.
So to Terry's point a little bit, or to Terry's question, you know, like, or even to my question, who is listening to a Will Smith album? Are hip hop people listening and going to appreciate a Will Smith album?
I think there are hip hop people that will, but I think the bigger portion of the pie chart are the people that just like Will Smith. That's what I think.
Is this going to be continual airplay, or is this going to be like, I listened to it because it's Will Smith and I threw it in the trash?
I think
Andy threw his freaking toy in the trash because he was done playing with it.
I think this is more of I ran it because it's Will Smith, and then if we fall into some records that's dope, then I'll run those. I think that's what it's.
I've heard a couple of his records, and some of it sounds like he's trying really hard.
Doesn't he have he has a song where
Big
what's his name pays homage to him?
The song with Joyner Lucas is cold.
Lucas, yeah.
That's cold.
He's got a song with Big Sean that's pretty decent.
Yeah, the Matrix video, I saw that.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I watched that today. But still, like, I can't. It's still like you can just feel it when somebody is just like not. It just I can't explain it. It doesn't feel authentic, or maybe it just feels a little corny, and I don't, you know.
I just feel like it is going to be.
I feel like he's trying really hard to
redeem himself because of what happened.
No, I don't even think.
I don't think you need. I don't think you need that. I don't think you need that.
I don't even think it's that. I think he's just really trying really hard to update his kit a little bit.
Or maybe this is his comfort space. Maybe this is a.
There you go.
Maybe this is a method of him coping, or not coping, because I don't think it really affected him like that. Maybe this is something to where he wanted to get back to something he actually loved doing.
He said he wanted to do something new, and he said rap feels new now.
Okay,
and with Big Boy. So
and he said it's been been forever since he actually did a tour.
Yeah.
He said that part of it also was intriguing to him to get back out on the road.
Look, I like Will Smith.
I do too.
I like, but as a rapper in general, like, I've never been a huge fan of the stuff that he's put out, although he does have some really good songs.
You know how when we say, sometimes records will come out and we'll say, you'll hear me say, oh, I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it.
Yeah,
I'm going to run it.
I did it today. I ran the Big Sean and Will Smith record, and I was like,
Yeah.
like it was okay. Like it wasn't horrible, but it was like, again, it was like, it's weird hearing Will Smith rap like that.
It's been over 25 something years.
It's been a while. I mean, Will Smith is cemented in hip hop history. Whether he drops another album, record, single, anything at all, his songs are going to get spins every single year, every single summer. It doesn't matter. But what I want to pose a question of is if an artist like MC Hammer comes back and decides he wants to make an album, are y'all good with that? Because we're kind of talking about the same type of deal.
No, we're not talking about the same type of deal. Because Hammer, no, I don't think they're the same, because I don't think Hammer's appeal and approach reaches as big as Will's does.
No, it absolutely did.
No, I'm talking about now.
Other than the fact that Will Smith had a successful sitcom.
No, because there's a difference. There's
no.
Fresh Prince, and then there's Will Smith.
That's true.
Hammer is just.
But we're talking about the music version of Will Smith.
No, I mean, and the thing is, like, I'm looking. I'm looking at Will's musical resume.
I run that Hammer though.
I knew it did well, but I didn't realize, Big Willie style sold 9 million.
Yeah,
copies.
that was big.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then and now it makes sense, because like I'm looking at the next album, Millennium.
That's
sold,
the one I actually meant.
It sold 2 million.
Yeah.
And so like I said, I don't know, maybe I just wasn't paying attention to Will Smith like that at that time.
Big Willie style was very successful.
Remember there's on the Dynasty, Jay-Z's
Don't do that long.
Jay-Z's like, still sold more than Will Smith.
Yeah.
Like, and that was a brag, and I completely understand now that I see that he sold 9 million at one point.
Yeah.
And the next time around he outsold Will Smith. That's a big deal.
You remember when Jay-Z would poke fun at him, say, Big Willie, I prefer you call me William.
Yeah.
Saying that his money is grown. You know what I'm saying? It was, Will's been in the discussions as far as rap shit is concerned.
And then, like,
think about Big Willie style though, bro. Just think about.
But also, this is also, like I said, I'm going over the numbers. I know some people are excited about the numbers, some people aren't. He put out another record, Born to Rain, which I guess he thought that was going to do something.
I'm not hip to that.
Yeah, it only sold 237,000 copies. But then Lost and Found, which I still think is one of
either of these.
Is still one of the dopest album covers, where he's standing on the corner and one sign says like Hollywood and one says West Philly. That's so he bounced back. He hit gold with that.
Hey, well,
but it was weird. It's weird. I listened to that record, and I remember he had like he had a weird diss song to like his ex-wife.
No, well, I stand corrected.
So I mean, but he
Maybe I'm wrong here.
But he had this song called Switch.
I remember Switch.
And
I remember Switch.
Yeah, and I remember kind of liking that record.
Listen, hey, just the two of us. I remember that. Miami.
But that was on.
But I'm going on that album though. Like getting jiggy with it. Just the two of us.
This is Big Willie style, right?
Yeah.
Miami, the Men in Black joint. These is all big records, bro.
Yeah, but they're.
What?
That was 98.
Say it. They're what?
Kwame produced Switch.
Long.
Yeah.
They're what? Say it.
They're like novelty records.
That's not what you want to say.
That's back when he was the man of the summer. Every summer,
I know,
it
like
worked.
they're corny.
That's what you want to say.
They're novelty, but I don't want to necessarily say corny because
I don't think they was corny, because they actually were good songs.
Some good records, bro.
Yeah, but like the approch was corny. I don't know.
It was poppy.
There was something about it.
It was poppy.
Yeah, I don't know. And I just, I don't like major chords. So I don't know.
There you go.
He never has. I ain't gonna lie. He never
There's
has.
something that, like.
I know you like Here Comes the Men in Black. There's no way you didn't like that, especially if you liked the Bobby Brown On Our Own.
Come on, man.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
There's not a comparison here.
Leave them on our own. Leave that alone.
The movie song.
On Our Own is like
leave that alone.
arguably one of Bobby Brown's best songs.
It is. But the Men in Black song was actually good for what it was.
I think Will has done a very good job of making things for what they are for in that particular manner. He would make movie soundtracks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's never anything that I like. Whenever shouts to my dude Andrew Ross, I haven't seen him in years.
Shout out to Andrew Ross. That's a good dude right there.
He used to rock with Will Smith, the heaviest of anybody I have ever seen.
I'm talking about Terry. I'm talking about in the car.
I'm talking about like he's ready to fight somebody. We say he's a little corny.
And
this
is a big dude too, though. It's a big dude.
He's an offensive lineman. Like he's a big dude.
Playing.
Choke you.
Yeah, he was,
put his hands on you by Will Smith.
And I'll be like, man, corny, man.
You know what's crazy?
No, he's not.
I mean, but you know what? Like
for real, he ain't lying.
The song "Men in Black." Like, you know who's singing the chorus on there, right?
Can't remember.
It's Coco from SWV.
Okay.
But she didn't want to be in the video because she thought the song was kind of corny.
Well,
Coco should
it
have been
made
in
her
that
a lot of
video.
money.
Sure did.
Yep. I mean, but that's
Made her a lot of money.
yeah, but that's just crazy. Like how that was a perception inside of the industry.
It's just
Hey, the Men in Black
And it
record
wound up
go.
being, and that shit wound up being like the song of the summer.
The record go though.
I feel like we're being very nice right now.
No. No.
Call me your ass, dude. You was like, no.
No, listen.
not-
No, you gotta
I ain't gonna argue with
I ain't
you.
gonna front.
I
Like,
can't
as
front
a
on it,
hip hop
man.
head, that is not my particular genre of rap.
right.
I'm never putting this on.
No, I'm not. I didn't even have the album. But that song didn't bother me.
It didn't bother
And I
me
think
long.
the reason why it didn't bother me
I
is
would
because
agree.
it was a remake of Forget Me Not.
Yeah.
So like I see the R&B correlation and it worked for the movie. The movie was successful.
Yeah.
I was a big Will Smith fan as a whole. Not
I think that's it too. I think that's it too. Like I just like Will Smith in general.
yeah.
So it's like he did it and it's like, it works.
I'm not gonna cap. That's
Wild
a huge
Wild
part
West,
of it.
Wild Wild West.
No, I never liked none of that.
Come
I didn't
on.
like.
You
I
had
didn't,
on the
I
white
didn't
suit.
like
Come on.
That's more of what you talking about. Wild Wild West.
Wild
is more
Wild
what you
West.
talking
And he
about.
missed out on that
It's really
Matrix
all.
bag by taking that Wild Wild West movie.
He should have did the Matrix. 100%.
In general, like, but all of his songs just have this level of
Say it, Long.
just mixing. It's missing some soul.
No. This is what it was. This is what
This is
it
some
was.
seasoning, Long.
They're just-
These songs had a specific thing that they were trying to do. Okay. And it wasn't something, it was just somebody like, once again, at the same time, I'm listening to Company Flow. At the same time, I'm listening to, Mad Skills and the Super Friend.
That is way completely
Yeah.
opposite.
And so, like, for me, it's kind of hard to, like, say, it's hard for me to almost say that these are the same. This is the same genre of music.
No,
Be
it's
clear,
not.
But I understood, like, okay, even when I heard the Wild Wild West and I saw the video and Cisco and Drew Hill are in cowboy outfits and
Don't do that.
I go back and watch that
don't
video.
do
It
that.
is extra,
He's right.
but at the same time, we're still in the Puff Daddy era where everything is $1 million video,
Shiny suit era.
and there's it's got to be pretty girls and everything is shot in the highest of low definition for what it was at the time to make it look good on your 4x3 TV.
that's real.
Like
That's
Very pretty, very pretty.
I'm not. I've like it's hard. It's almost like we're making excuses for Will Smith's music
Yeah.
and the imagery of that specific time, but it was like he wasn't doing nothing but doing him.
But bro,
And like
Sure,
that-
and that's why-
At the end of the day,
I
that's
know.
why it makes sense because
I know.
and that's something about Will Smith that I can stand 100% 10 toes down is he's always stayed true to his image and not going far out from what he represented.
Yeah.
And not trying to fake it. Like we literally just had a
Like the only
conversation
time
about Drake.
I respect that.
And Will Smith stayed in his lane.
Yeah.
I just don't want to hear songs about
Yeah,
it.
I mean, the only time I heard Will Smith, I'm like, come on, dog, was like when there was a song called it was kind of be funny, but it was kind of be like a little tough guy and edgy. And it was a song called You Saw My Blinker, Bitch. And it was like,
See, I don't
Nah, y'all don't know nothing about that.
oh man, they used to play it on the radio. But,
They ain't play it here.
They ain't play that here.
All
Yeah, I
right,
don't know
well,
nothing about that.
I listen to way too much radio, so
they
I
wouldn't
was.
hear.
But I give.
But I
Will
was just like, come on, Will. And like, and I think this is when he had the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Bruh, I give Will Smith his piece to Terry's point about his authenticity, knowing his lane, knowing who he is, and more importantly, who he was not at that time. And there's some records, bro. Like, I'm not saying they're going to be at the top of my playlist, but
They're not on mine.
I'm going to run some of those records,
But
bro.
I know
And there's a lot of our favorite rappers that we love, and we talk about lists and all the things that we talk about. All of them don't have a summertime. I don't give a damn what nobody says.
summertime.
All of them don't have a summertime.
No, summertime.
Not too many of our favorite rappers have a summertime.
Almost
Summertime.
none of them.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Summertime
That's
is
what
the
I'm
anomaly.
saying. He's being played.
That is an
regardless.
outlier.
It doesn't
It
matter.
is. That's
Yeah.
that's the
I mean, his
exception.
first song was "Parents Just Don't Understand,"
Yeah.
and to see him go from that to "Summertime" to
Getting jiggy with
getting
it.
jiggy with it, and just the two of
Miami.
us. I mean, he grew up in the way that he pretty much, what I'm saying, he stayed true to that path.
Yeah, but he made
It
his,
wasn't varying.
he made his best song in 1989.
What do you?
I'm just saying, like, Summertime is his best record.
It wasn't.
No, I
mean,
thought you were about to say, I think I could beat Mike Tyson. That was 89.
Well, hold on. When
Yeah,
is summer?
summertime is early.
Summertime
It's
was
not
like
89.
91.
That's
Summertime's
like
like
91,
90,
92. 91?
I want to say it was the first year that the Bulls won the championship.
Hold up.
I'll find
Well,
it.
that's
I'll
why we
find
got
it.
these fancy ass.
Pull his
Oh,
out.
wait a minute, you can pull it up. Yeah, pull it up.
Yeah, I want to say it was the first year Bulls won the championship.
We'll find it. I know it's 90 something. I know
It was
that.
in the 90s.
91. Okay.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Bulls' first championship.
Yeah, 89 was.
That's on the album Home Base I was talking about.
Yeah, 'cause
What year did he win the Grammy?
That was back
that was,
in
that was the album before that. So that was in the
88?
80s.
I think is that he's the DJ, I'm the rapper?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Next year.
I stand corrected, but summertime
That
still
was
his best.
that
record.
was 88. Yeah.
Long. I'm just saying, Will got
he had
some
songs
joints.
talking about Freddie. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he's
Freddy Krueger for those
He's been
uninitiated.
Yeah, Gobo
been
didn't know
on
that.
that same path for his whole career. He
And what's-
never strayed.
And what's crazy is like, well, that's part of why he got sued. Is like the Fat Boys put out the official Freddie record for that movie, and like the radio station was having contests, which song is better, and the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and
Because it was better.
it was
just better.
They was
Yeah.
just crushing the name of a Fat Boys record. The Fat Boys version that was official, New Line Cinema is like, yo, we got to shut this down.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the Fat Boys. Always
Shout out
got
to the Fat
for real.
always got to acknowledge the Fat
Yeah,
Boys.
but no, Will Smith, like we always say, man, at the end of the day, Will Smith, a whole legend. I'm going to run the project.
Come on now.
And,
Look, the fact
I can't wait to listen to
the
it with
fact
Long.
that hell no. The fact that we even care to talk about it in 2025
Hey, that's
is
saying
kind of a testament to
That's a testament to
saying
who he is.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a legend.
Will Smith is a household name at the end of the
Facts.
day, whether you know him for rap or whether you know him from movies.
Slapping.
Or the slap that was heard across the world.
It's crazy, but that's a true thing.
But, is it though? Like I feel like the slap is such low.
I know it's a
It
footnote.
is.
It's low hanging fruit,
and
but
it kind of goes to what Reed My Soul was talking about.
yeah. But it's
Because that's what people like to always bring up about Will Smith. But Will Smith's his resume is crazy.
and he can't be defined. To Terry's point about that video, he can't be defined by that. There's no
At one point in time, he was the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
rightfully
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Because everything he touched was them summers. Back to back to back was the summers.
Blockbusters.
Yeah, until he hit like that Bagger Vance,
See?
Wild Wild
There you
West.
go.
he
man.
messed up with that Wild Wild Way. He should have went to the
Bagger
Matrix
Vance was
way.
good. Bagger Vance was good. Wild Wild West.
I'll be honest, I've
outside
never-
of Selma Hayek was.
I've never seen Bagger Vance all the way through. Now Wild Wild West, I saw it in the movie theater.
I've never seen that all the way through because I was never
Bagger Vance was decent.
Thank you.
not Bagger Vance. I've never seen Wild Wild West all the way through because I was never interested in.
I thought it was weird.
It's weird, but I'm weird
I don't
sometimes.
like. I have this weird I don't want to say phobia, but I just don't like westerns.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you
So
definitely
you didn't
one.
like Back to the Future 3 then?
It was my least
My
favorite.
least favorite. So
That's my
I
least
agree.
favorite. Yeah.
It's like it's just growing up and being forced to watch Bonanza.
Oh my god.
I can hear that.
Oh my
Don't
God.
do that.
Nah,
Trigger. My mama probably watching it right now.
like I'm triggered
it's
right
not
now.
as bad as MASH, but I can't stand those.
No,
two.
if I see MASH come on, I'll
Don't
be
talk
like,
about the Cartwrights. I just don't want to hear
I-
it.
it's time to
Bothered
go
you,
to
didn't it,
sleep.
Terry?
Yeah, I don't. It gives me the ick a little.
Yeah, it does.
NewOldHeads.com for all the education you need this year. If you see it, like it, subscribe. Also subscribe to our channel and hit the bell for any notifications that you can see. Our Patreon option will also give you access to our full uncut episodes. And remember, give us a 5-star rating on any platform because we really need that. And we'll see y'all next week.